In his book Mere Christianity, C.S. Lewis says these words: "The moment you wake up each morning, all your wishes and hopes for the day rush at you like wild animals. And the first job of each morning consists in shoving them all back, in listening to that other voice, taking that other point of view, letting that other, larger, stronger, quieter life come flowing in." This is the second of our series asking what is God like, and today we're going to talk about the fact that we don't need to fear others because God is glorious. Now I need to define a couple of terms here. First of all, what do we mean by glorious? Well, I cheated and I looked it up, so it's not a word I use every day. There are two definitions. One is to be exhibiting attributes, qualities or acts that are worthy or receive glory. They're noble, they're praiseworthy, excellent, illustrious, inspiring admiration as glorious deeds. And then there's a second part to it as well, the fact that glorious is associated with being splendid, resplendent, bright, shining as the sun, gold or other shining objects. So when we're talking about that in context of God, we're talking about God being glorious, then we're talking about him in terms of his otherness, his vast superiority to us. And then when it talks about fearing other people, we don't need to fear other people because God is glorious. The older translations of the Bible that talk about this kind of thing talk about a fear of man or of course of woman. And it can be seen in so many ways. It could be that we are overly concerned with what people think and we fear their rejection if we say something that they don't like, worrying that someone will say something if we take a certain course of action. That whole thing about peer pressure, we talk about it at school in the classroom, but it carries on, doesn't it? And it keeps on in later life too. What will the neighbours think? What will my family and friends say if I do this? What will my church think? What if they think I'm a bit strange and don't want anything to do with me anymore? People are looking. That's the way they get us in line. The man is looking. The woman is looking. Everybody's looking. We grow up trying not to do things that will make other people look. They too have grown up trying not to do things that will make other people look. We huddle inside ourselves, gazing at shoes and adverts, trying not to cause a disturbance, trying not to look. I hear that poem and it makes me think of the underground and the tube. We worry about other people's opinions and this, as a result we suffer with self-esteem, or we try and second guess others in order to do what we think they would like us to do, or we get really easily embarrassed, or we don't want to talk to other people about Jesus because it could be embarrassing and it might jeopardise our friendship, or we overcommit ourselves because we don't like saying no to people because we like to please them. Or we lie because if people knew the truth about me, then they'd think less of me. Or I curate my Facebook pages in order that people will think better of me than they should. It can affect all of us. Peter was a tough, straight-talking fisherman in the Bible, and perhaps the last person you'd think would be worried about what other people would think of him. But there are episodes in his life and in ours that show how just easily he was swayed, as anybody else. It's not just the shy, mousy types that worry about what other people think. So Peter denies Jesus, says, no way do I know him. It doesn't mean when we talk about fear of the Lord that we have to be scared of God. But we do need to hold him in proper awe, to give him the respect that is due to him, the reverence that we should show towards him. It isn't terror fear, frightened you'll be punished. Instead it's a worship fear, a reverent awe, motivated by the love and the honour that are due to him, as one author puts it. Proverbs chapter 9 verse 10, a well-known verse in lots of churches. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. The question, of course, is, do we fear people or God the most? When we forget that God is glorious, when we don't fear the Lord, we end up fearing others instead. To put it in another way, when people are big, God is small. We've got to keep on preaching this to ourselves, reminding us that God is glorious. Now, if that God of glory loves you, sent his Son for you, who died for you, that you might have that relationship with the glorious God restored, so what if your neighbours are a bit sniffy with you? And again, this isn't a religious rule that you should keep and that you should feel guilty about breaking. Thou shalt not fear other people. Instead, it's an outworking of the results of the gospel of grace. You don't need to fear others, because the opinion that truly matters is the God who loves and cares for you. At the end of the day, there's an audience of one that we're looking to satisfy. Well, I really hope you like this thought for the day. If you do and you tell me, then I will act all modest, but actually I'll be really happy and really pleased with myself as a result. I really want you to like me and to like the videos that we're putting out. Please like me. We think we're making progress in this, and then something comes back to remind us we're not doing as well as we might. We've still got some way to go. How about you?